How to do 7+ deals with these inbound marketing strategies. What's up, guys? Zach in here.
Rick in here.
And in today's video, we really want to talk about exactly the secrets to scaling a wholesaling real estate operations to over 7 deals every single month. And guys, we want to be able to run a 7-figure wholesaling operation without inbound marketing strategies. We talk about outbound marketing strategies a lot, right? We talk about code violations. We talk about going out here and calling the FISBOs or calling out here with the trying for dollars leads. But really, the key to scaling a bigger operation is actually with the inbound marketing strategies when the leads are actually coming to you, actually having leads come to you where you don't have to do as much work, as I like to say, right? And when you do inbound marketing strategies, you don't have to run this huge team and office of like 50 people cold calling and all. Like, it's not like that, right? Inbound marketing can be done very, very small, pretty much on an operation side. And heck, you can have less than 5 employees and make millions of dollars on wholesaling real estate. So that's what I'm excited for today. So before we break it down, do us a big favor, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and let's break it all down.
So let's talk about inbound marketing versus outbound marketing. Most of you guys have been focusing on outbound marketing. That's going to be anytime you reach out. So it's going to be cold calling, SMS, texting, anything like that, where you're directly going out to find motivated sellers. And it works very effectively. And that kind of puts you on the offensive when you do that. Now we're talking about adding inbound to it. Inbound is where you do marketing pieces where you give them a solicitation and they reach out to you. And why I like this so much is because you can scale it. And think about the mindset of a motivated seller when they call you. They are reaching out and talking to you, and it gives you more true motivation because it takes a lot for them to pick up the phone and go, oh my gosh, I need to sell my house. Can you help me out? And I love inbound marketing. It's a truer gauge of motivation because on outbound, you have to get them to listen to you and hear your offer and see if they're even interested. On inbound, they already have interest. They're calling you. And here's the really difference maker is they are calling you when they're available on their time. So when you do outbound, you're usually catching people off guard. It's a very hit or miss. On inbound, as long as you guys will answer your phones, if it's, I don't care if it's a text inbound, if it's off of a marketing website type of deal, when it comes in, you have to deal with them. So most of you guys will be getting incoming like phone calls, and that right there is they're ready to talk to you. So you don't have to go, do you have time to talk or anything like that? There's no better time than the moment. And I love inbound marketing. And I also talked about its scalability because you can still do it even as a small operator with 1 or 2 employees. You can scale it as far as you can answer the inbound marketing. Guys, if you haven't added this strategy, I want you to hear the rest of this video.
So just like think about this for a second about the least amount of stress, right? So if I was going to make $100K in a month, I'd only do inbound marketing. And what do I mean by that, right? So if I was going to make $100K in a month, that's probably for our business, 2 to 3 deals, right? Like that's about 2 to 3 wholesaling deals. For me to get 2 to 3 wholesaling deals, let's say on a code violation or a government type list, that's most likely going to be 6,000 contacts or 6,000 cold calls with a seller, which that's gonna be very difficult for me to do. Guys, I've done 5 hours a day cold calling. That's a lot of work. Now for me, really to get 3 deals, maybe for direct mail, it's gonna be 60 inbound calls. And what is 60 inbound calls? That's 2 inbound calls a day, really, if you're running a legit operation and you got leads coming in. And it's a lot easier for me to answer 2 phone calls, which are 10 minutes each, 20 minutes of marketing to make $100K versus me doing 5 hours a day of it, right? And that is the secret with inbound marketing. Now, there's only one huge con with inbound marketing, and I will tell you what it is. It costs a lot more money than outbound marketing. So when we're talking to people trying to make the first 100K, I tell you guys, hey, do the outbound marketing scripts, right? Do the cold calling, do the SMS text blasting, try for dollars, go out here and actually go out and hunt these leads out. When it talks about scaling an operation and you're making hundreds of thousands a year doing outbound marketing, this is when we start pivoting into the inbound marketing, right? So we have somebody we work with, right? And they were like, oh my gosh, I'm making hundreds of thousands. This is great. But like, I want to scale up, but I'm working, 12 hours a day. And I'm like, well, guess what you should do? Just add in direct mail. And they add in direct mail, double their profits, and really not too much more work. And they're able to ease it in. And you pour maybe making, let's say, $12K a month in wholesaling, start maybe using $2,000 or $3,000 in your direct mail. I promise you, if you actually do it the right way, we teach at freewholesaling.com, it's actually going to be an investment and you're going to get a lot of deals from that, right? Inbound marketing is a lot more powerful than outbound marketing on a scaling. It's kind of like using a lever or a dolly, right? I can't lift a 300-pound dresser. I can't, okay? Maybe I can, but I can't lift that thing for like half a mile, right? I can use a dolly, right? Which is going to be a pivot. It's going to give me leverage and I can push that thing half a mile all day because I'm using a tool for it, right? Inbound marketing is the same thing. It's letting me leverage my time. I get to put money into it and it's actually saving me a lot of time. It's just like using a tool. And that's actually how you're going to be able to make a lot more money with the inbound marketing strategies. It's less stress. It's a little more money, obviously. I think it's a good investment and that's what we'd use in our operations. We do not want to be working 70, 80, 90, 100 hours a week in our operations. I work 10 hours a week in my operation. You work the other 10 hours on it. And we're able to do this training teams and having all these acquisitions people just because we're using inbound marketing strategies. I don't have to be in an office all day and manage 50 cold callers and all these acquisitions people, making sure all the leads and skip tracing. We do that. But what I can tell you is the inbound marketing has actually helped us ease a lot of the stress and the issues with it.
And a lot of times, if you add up the cost of an inbound marketing campaign versus outbound, like if you're doing a cold calling and you got 4 cold callers working with you, you have to pay to pull that data. Then you have to pay to skip trace that data. Then you got to pay them to make all those phone calls and then manage them and pay them a piece of the action. I could almost guarantee you that just using a simple inbound marketing method, even like direct mail, might actually be more cost effective. And guess what? You don't need all this giant staff to get it done. So consider the numbers when you do it in the totality of comparing inbound to outbound marketing.
Yeah, I agree. So let's break down the different types of inbound marketing strategies and how you can actually use them and the best lists with them. So the one for a lot of beginners out here, let's say you're trying to make your first 100K, you could still utilize inbound marketing, right? So what's the one I do recommend for you guys out here? I do recommend, hands down, reverse driving for dollars. Why do I recommend reverse driving for dollars? Because first of all, it's the first step into inbound marketing, right? It's kind of like the gateway into it, right? So what do we think about direct mail, right? We think of direct mail, it's a little expensive, right? It's a great inbound marketing strategy. And for us, it works really well. Now, if you look at the cost of direct mail, the average postcard is going to be roughly 38, 35 cents at best, up to 40 to 50 cents each, right? And let's say I have 1,000 driving for dollars leads. If I'm going to send direct mail out to 1,000 driving for dollars leads as a beginner, it might cost me $400 to do that. And that's going to be very expensive for somebody on a very limited budget, right? But if I do something like reverse driving for dollars, which is basically I get a yellow sticky note and I write something on there, hey, this is Zach, I had a quick question about your property. Please give me a call back. I'm going to stick that in there. It might cost me 2 cents at most. If I include gas, 4 cents, right? And from there, I'm able to just spend 30 or 40 bucks on the direct mail with the reverse driving for dollars. And that's so much easier. You know, the code violations, just driving for dollars leads you have, and you're going to get a 30 to 40% response rate where the average postcard at best is like 2%, right? And you get 20 times more calls. You talk to more sellers. And that is the first gateway into inbound marketing. Now, the second one, which you talked about here, is direct mail, letters, postcards, whatever you want to call it. It's just sending a piece of mail out to go out here and reach out to motivated sellers. And if you want to get in direct mail and actually learn how that works, I do recommend you go to mailingmastery.com. Again, it is mailingmastery.com. That's our free direct mail course. We teach you direct mail absolutely for free. Most gurus, influencers, coaches, they will literally charge you 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 10 grand to learn direct mail because it's very specialized for someone looking to scale up an operation from $100K to $1 million. We're the only ones to give it out for free because we are not broke gurus. So what are the best lists for direct mail? I found that government lists are really good and also paid lists.
So let's talk about lists with direct mail. So your direct mail is only going to be as effective as your list. If the list is no good, it doesn't matter what you put in there, it's not going to work. So make sure you master getting your list. The lists I recommend that work best on it is if you can get, first of all, any of your government lists and you compile that. You guys already know how to do that. But let's talk about lists that you can pull with the software using listrei.com. You can go in there, you get up to 10,000 leads a month. Now, I'm not recommending you start out doing 10,000, and you can use part of that for cold calling or any of your other campaigns. But what you want to do is take a healthy amount and pull a list. So some of my favorite lists The vacant list, I like to pull twice a year, if not once a quarter. You don't need it every month because they often don't change. The next one is you can pull a simple high equity list. And we teach you in free wholesaling under the list segment to use the right filters to pull it. It's actually really simple. We don't hold anything back when we share it with you. Another one of my favorites is the pre-probates. And this is like a wide blanket for those of you that don't have the time or the staff or the energy to manually pull every probate. It pulls anyone who has a property of record that has a death certificate in your county. It's not foolproof, but it's a wide net approach. And by combining the use of all these lists, that should point you in the direction of a motivated seller. And my last tip is here. If you're starting out, start out using postcards on average. It's just over 50 cents a piece. You can do easy math in your head and start with a 3,000 to 5,000 piece of mailer. You can do the math in your head. You should easily be able to get that return, and you just have to learn and get through the process. But guys, getting the right list is the key to making direct mail work, and focusing on postcards in the beginning, and use a simple message, the one we teach you at freewholesaling.com.
Yeah, just go to freewholesaling.com. You have to be a link in freewholesaling.com. Not just go to mailingmastery.com. But really, where are the top government lists? Again, guys, if you're going to use direct mail, pre-foreclosures, code violations, probates, water shutoffs, the liens, the list goes on and on and on forever. But those are going to be really good ones for you to use. Just remember the filters you use in listri.com and maybe even zachdata.com, the filters for the high equity or the tired landlords, just go to freewholesaling.com. We break down exactly how to do it. That's going to be the best way to do the best direct mail. And the last one, and a very affordable one, is actually how I got my first 100K in wholesaling. These are bandit signs, right? Mm-hmm. Those are those ugly, we buy ugly houses signs that you see maybe on the side of the road. They might cost $2 a sign, put 50 out, $100. You have to get a lot of leads coming in from there. They're a little dirty, you know, they're a lot of work, but you're going to have leads calling you from those signs if they work in your market. Some markets, they don't work. Some markets, they do. I do recommend you trying testing it out, but if you use those strategy, it'll work really, really well. Again, freewholesaling.com has everything on there. Now, there is some bonus inbound marketing strategies we didn't talk about that I know people have made it work, but in all honesty, it's just not worth the ROI. And we've tried them all. We've actually made money on most of these strategies, but what I can tell you is looking at most wholesalers scaling up, it doesn't work that well, or it's very market specific. These are TV ads, radio ads, SEO, PPC, Facebook ads. Those are great. Those are just way too expensive compared to direct mail. Like if I'm going to put 10 grand a month in marketing, I'm going to get the most amount of deals and profit from direct mail versus doing a TV ad or a radio ad. I've done the ROI. I know everyone around the country. Once you start doing TV and radio ads, it's because your market is just too big. And there's a reason why these big real estate companies don't even do TV ads, right? Like you look at Open Door, OfferPad, even when Zillow is doing offers, they never really use TV ads.
The return's just not there for them.
Yeah, the return's not there for them, and it's not going to be for you. So guys, that is actually how you utilize inbound marketing tactics for the best success possible when scaling up your business to over 7 deals a month. If you're looking to get over 7 deals a month, this is the strategy for you. Definitely still use outbound marketing tactics, but start putting inbound in there. And again, if you have any questions, we love to reach out and help you out. So guys, go to freewholesaling.com. That'll help you out. Good luck scaling your operations. This is Zach signing out.
Rick signing out.
Have a blessed one, guys.
See you guys.